There is a side of Pedri that millions of football fans rarely see. Behind the calm face, the elegant touches, and those effortless passes, there has always been a young man carrying an enormous weight. And at 23, that weight has become impossible to ignore. Pedri was born Pedro Gonzalez Lopez on November 25, 2002, in Tagaste, on the Spanish island of Tenerife. Long before the Barcelona lights, the huge stadiums, and the expectations of international football, he was simply a quiet kid who loved the game. He wasn't known for being the loudest player. He didn't need to be. His football spoke for him. From a young age, Pedri had something unusual. He could slow the game down when everyone else seemed to be rushing. He could see passes that other players couldn't. There was a natural intelligence in the way he moved, almost as if he understood where the ball needed to go before it even arrived. But that gift came with a price. When Pedri arrived at Barcelona as a teenager, the expectations became enormous almost overnight. Suddenly, people weren't just watching a talented youngster. They were comparing him with legends. Every brilliant performance raised expectations for the next one. Every mistake became a conversation. And perhaps that's where the real story begins. Because being called a future star sounds beautiful from the outside. But when you're still incredibly young, carrying the hopes of millions can become exhausting. Pedri's rise was incredibly fast. He became an important player for Barcelona, earned a place with Spain, and found himself playing on some of football's biggest stages before he had even reached adulthood. Instead of slowly growing into the spotlight found him immediately. And football can be cruel when it does that. One week, you're the next great midfielder. The next week, people are asking why you're not performing like one. Injuries and physical setbacks only made the journey harder. For a player whose greatest strength is his ability to control the rhythm of a match, interruptions can be especially frustrating. You can train for months, fight your way back, and then suddenly face another obstacle. That is why the idea behind Pedri breaking down feels deeper than one emotional moment. The real truth may be much simpler, even extraordinary. Players get tired. Even talented people have doubts. And even someone who looks completely composed on the pitch can struggle when the pressure becomes personal. Pedri has often carried himself with remarkable maturity. But maturity doesn't mean never feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes it means continuing even when you are. What makes his story so compelling isn't that he has suffered. It's that he has continued to find his way through the difficult moments without losing the qualities that made people fall in love with his football in the first place. At 23, Pedri is still incredibly young. His story is nowhere near finished. And perhaps that's the most important part. Fans don't need him to be perfect. They don't need every match to become a masterpiece. They need him to be human, because behind every spectacular pass is a person. Behind every standing ovation is someone who has experienced disappointment. And behind the calm expression of Pedri is a young footballer who has learned that greatness isn't about avoiding difficult moments, it's about surviving them. Maybe the truth Pedri has been showing us all along is this: you can be gifted, successful, admired, and still have moments when everything feels too heavy. And that doesn't make you weak, it makes you human.